U.S. Senator Roger Wicker on home ground. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and thank you for starting off with a nice little quip from Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana. It's always a little boost in the morning.
Let me say this: whatever book he's getting these from, I hope nobody ever steals it, because
I really think I think he sits up at night.
I do too.
Comes up with those, and he can have the copyright on that.
Yeah, when he did a liner for our show one time too, and I'll tell you this: he practices these things. He knows. I think when he goes into a conversation, he has it loaded like in a chamber, and he's ready to fire it at the appropriate time. So, but don't tell him I said that. Now, a lot of things going on. First of all, should we be worried about tomorrow, Friday 13th? And a call from some of the high-ups in Hamas to go out and do a lot of bad things tomorrow across America?
I think we are now prepared. If this attack had not happened, we might have more to worry about, because I don't think anyone would have expected anything to happen, say, in the United States or the rest of the Western world. But I think we're pretty much on guard right now. And
how can that possibly be with all the people in this country that we don't even know about?
Well, you make a very good point. Number one, this is an intelligence failure. And, it's not just an intel on the part of the Israeli intel folks. I mean, we're part and parcel of that. We share information. And so just like after 9/11, Paul, we're going to have to do some soul-searching long-term. And as you know, Congress has not been in session. The Senate has not been in session last week, but as soon as we get back on Monday, we're going to have to really have some real soul-searching about what went wrong with our intel.
Yeah, as a ranking member of the Senate Arms Committee, do you think you're getting the information that you need?
Well, also I'm a member of the Intelligence Committee.
Right, I forgot about that. That's true.
And I'm on that in that position, and there are going to be some hard questions, because this mobilization of one of the world's worst terrorist groups in Gaza, in a very small area, it just seems like we should have known about it. And so, Israel is our great ally. We're going to have to sit down with them once they've started winning this battle, which I do think they'll win, and decide what went wrong. Before 9/11, we had this problem they call siloing. Some parts of the intel community were reluctant to share information with other parts of the intel community. We've got to come to grips with that. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to just realize that if someone can come across the border that's well guarded between Gaza and Israel, we can only absolutely be sure that some of the worst actors in the world are coming across our border. And so it makes no sense for the administration to even pretend like we're going to continue the policies that they've had. It's been 3 years of absolutely wrong-headed policy and the absolutely wrong signal to send around the world to people that wouldn't like to come to the United States. But basically, Joe Biden has, for 3 years, and even during the campaign before that, said, come on in. We're not going to do one more thing on border security. And absolutely, you can be sure Hamas has come across our southern border. You can be absolutely sure that Hezbollah has come across the southern border.
You're talking about a slap in the face when a possible terrorist is even given an app to make it more convenient to him. That's how bad things are. But you know what I think about a lot when I hear you talk about this is that we had satellite photo images back during Kennedy's day and the missile crisis on Cuba. And they're a hell of a lot more sophisticated today. We can read a license tag and probably tell you what kind of bolt it's hanging on with right now. Why did Israel also not have this information?
these are questions that have to be answered, and the answer is, for whatever reason, it's absolutely unacceptable. We'll get to the bottom of it, and this is I'm not going to say. This every cloud, I guess, has a silver lining. This is a very, very faint silver lining, but we are well advised and well warned now, and I don't think we were a week ago.
Yeah, but
something
will
is wrong in the intel and U.S. In the Israeli and U.S. intel services, and we just have to correct it, and we have to do it quickly, and we have to also realize that. We don't have. We're not going to be talking about a peace dividend anytime soon. We are in a dangerous world where people want to kill us and our allies, and they will do it in the most gruesome fashion. So I hope this is a wake-up call to those bean counters in the White House who are really shortchanging our military in terms of short-term and long-term preparedness.
I think when you start looking at what the president said yesterday, in these moments of crisis, he is least equipped to handle this now than ever before. I mean, I don't know if did you hear this?
This attack was a campaign of pure cruelty, not just hate, but pure cruelty. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I never really thought that I would see and have confirmed pictures of terrorists beheading children.
I mean, he said he saw a video. He was watching the video where they would be hit, and of course, the White House had to roll that back. I mean, nobody with their brain in order would say that on the scale of the presidency of the United States of America in a press conference.
No, he's not up to the office, and I guess 50-50 chance I would give you he may not even be the candidate next
I don't think so. I think it's a 90% chance, 90% chance that he will not. I just can't imagine that. All right, so there are a couple of other things that are going on down there, and I wanted to mention this. I did tweet out a few moments ago the homepage of Ocean Aero, AERO, some sharp-looking products that they have out. We've been talking about these. I think we talked to you about this a few years ago, the possibility of some drones, and what's going on there?
Absolutely. This is going to be a great supplement to our national security, and we're definitely going to keep having submarines and fighter ships and amphibs because we got to get our troops around and we have to project our power. But we can certainly supplement that, and things like the uncrewed ships from Ocean Aero are going to be a real big and important part of national defense and also job creation in Mississippi. And I'll tell you, this doesn't happen overnight. Back when Haley Barbour was governor, we got real tired of hearing that we were just going to sort of be a minor port down here. It's the Mississippi port at Gulfport. It's not the Gulfport port. This is our state port, and we said we're going to go big time, and we're still trying to get that port even deeper. But over the last decade and more, we have actually brought in some of the top talent in the country. And if you've driven by the Mississippi port in Gulfport recently, you see how much it's expanded. This is a major quantum leap in terms of making our port state-of-the-art and being way more than just what it was 10, 15 years ago. And Ocean Aero is going to employ a lot of folks, more and more over time. And I can tell you they are so excited. The governor will be down in Gulfport today. I'm looking out over the Sound right now, having waked up in Biloxi this morning. And we are
with a good sea breeze. Senator Wicker, can you hold on for just a second? We've got a break coming up. Final segments in a moment or two. I want to finish this one out with U.S. Senator Roger Wicker coming up next for Senator Roger Wicker. All right, let's. I got to ask you about this one. The what will we see in the newly opened Roger Wicker Center for Ocean Enterprise?
Well, thank you for mentioning that. That's tomorrow, but it's actually part and parcel to what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
But this is in partnership with a number of federal agencies, but mainly with University of Southern Mississippi. And what I think a lot of Americans have not realized for a long time is we know more about the surface of the moon. We know more about the surface of Mars than we do the floor of the Gulf of Mexico and our oceans. And so what Southern Miss and the Gulf Coast of Mississippi is about to embark on is cutting edge in terms of really what one of our last frontiers is. And my hat is off to the Port Commission for coming up with this idea and for working with USM and both administrations, Phil Bryant and Tate Reeves. Governor Reeves will be here with us today for the Ocean Arrow opening, but we are going to utilize the latest research, create hundreds and thousands of jobs in this new blue economy, and it's absolutely another aspect of getting big along with the state port.
How big are some of those drones? Because we saw the picture, but I didn't put them in comparison to. Are they the size of a motorcycle, the size of a bass boat, or have you seen them?
Okay, but I think you're talking about the Ocean Arrow.
I'm talking about something different. The Ocean Arrow drones.
Yeah. They're relatively small. They're unmanned. Mm-hmm. The great thing about them is that they are both submarines and surface vessels, and they're state of the art. And really, there are two things. Today is the Ocean Arrow, and that's manufacturing jobs, and tomorrow is the research facility, which is really right across the way from it. But they are hand in hand. Mississippi being part of the cutting edge of the future in terms of the latest technology with regard to national defense and also research.
Yeah. You're right. Like the Mariana Trench, it's 36,000 feet deep. That's almost 7 miles. There's just so much we do not know about the surface of the ocean. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, minerals, rare earths, things that we're going to need to compete against some of these totalitarian governments who are going to cut us off someday. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I only got a couple of seconds here, but what's your statement on what is going on in the other chamber as far as the House is concerned? Steve Scalise.
We need a speaker. These are tough times. It made no sense to get rid of Kevin McCarthy. He was a good speaker. Scalise is right across the river from us in New Orleans. He's a good man. I've served with him. He's the nominee now, and I hope by this afternoon we'll have Steve Scalise as speaker. But it was a terrible mistake to put us into this situation, and the fact that a crisis occurred coincidentally after that, it just points up that we need a government in place. Yeah, and we need our side to get together and talk about all the things that unite us and put get past these differences. You're going to have this in any legislative body, but with Steve Scalise as the nominee, I'm for him. I don't get to vote, but I think he's real comfortable with our 3 members of the House of Representatives, and I think they're going to be supportive of him today.
But that said, just as far as legally, as far as rules and everything, with a pro tem legislation could go on the same way. It doesn't have to have a speaker, does it?
It does. There's very little power with the pro tem. That was added after 9/11 when they realized that last plane could have hit the Capitol, and hundreds of members of
How
the
about
House
that?
could have
Learn
been killed.
something
So,
every
yeah.
single day. Wish we had more time, but man, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it
Thank you,
very,
Paul.
very
You
much.
bet.
Safe travels to U.S. Senator Roger Wicker. Lance, thank you, sir. We have packed everything we could into 3 hours for Thursday. We'll unwrap the Friday edition, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Pour a cup of coffee. Join us right